Greetings, brothers and sisters. I just want to say something about heart-related issues for people who didn't get the bloop but had COVID. There was a long comment from someone who described their situation yesterday about having, elevated heart rate and heart issues. Something that I went through with COVID. Really, wasn't the first time I got COVID. It was Omicron, and then just post COVID, like after I had COVID, I had this irregular heartbeat and other issues. And so, people in the truth community think it's just people who got the bloop that have had issues, but it isn't the case. I'm hoping to do this audio book or whatever it is, some recording, and just put it up on Amazon. The stuff I want to talk about, I can't do here. I guess I could put it up on some other platform without, it's just going to be an audio of me talking about things that I've learned and all these things. I might just do that. I don't know if Amazon will, whatever. I'll find a way to do it. I just got to find the time to, basically tell my story. And this is a good time of the year when YouTube ad revenues are way down, where I could, take a couple days off and do that. But in terms of the heart-related stuff, there's no heart issues in my family. Like you see as you get older, the things that your other family members suffered, your elder family members, your parents, your grandparents, siblings, you end up having those things, right? You'll end up having those types of issues. That's why they always ask you your family history. I mean, that's a big part of medical knowledge, because things that your family members suffer, you're at higher risk to suffer the same things, right? But things that they don't suffer aren't really issues for you. Like we have our own physiological weaknesses and things that comes from our, our extended families. But in my family, my grandparents all lived into their 90s, except for one who I've talked about. He lived a full life where he was exposed to chemical warfare in World War I, fought in World War II, was a fireman before they wore oxygen masks, so he inhaled all kinds of smoke, and he smoked, so he died of lung cancer. But otherwise he probably would have lived the longest. He was maybe the strongest person physically in my genome, my genealogy. And so everyone in my family no one in my family has had a heart issue. No one died of heart issues. No one had heart attacks or any kind of heart related things. No heart attacks in my family at all. My brother still looks relatively well for someone in his late 70s, or his mid 70s, and my older sisters are still in their 70s, and I think they're doing great. And so, there's no heart issues there. My parents and my grandparents' hearts all lasted until their 90s, and the one guy who died from lung cancer, still his heart was going strong. So no heart issues, no heart related anything, no heart, nothing to do with having a faulty heart or some sort of heart issues. And so it hasn't been a concern of mine, and I never had any thoughts about some kind of heart issues. But when I had COVID, it was I was aware of my heart, a rapid heartbeat when I laid down at night. The first COVID, it was more about breathing, but there was some heart stuff. And just I've had, issues where I've had chest pains and things and, just heart-related stuff ever since, where I've, it's been a concern of mine. It's something that I can't deal with. I don't trust the medical community. I don't, it's, I feel like this is some kind of malevolent biological weapon that's there to weaken people and, whatever it might be. And occasionally I get the rapid heartbeat, and once in a while I get chest pains. I don't think about it, for the last year or so it has more or less dissipated. But it's just always there as a possibility, which sucks, to live with. And I'm sure lots of people who are, this is moving forward, that's going to happen. And we don't know what this thing is that we were given and how it's affecting us, right? So there's a lot there. What I've found, and again, this isn't some slam dunk. This is my, my personal analysis. Again, I'm not handing out medical advice or medical information, just my own experience. I believe that it's more about the nervous system than about the circulatory system. When my heart races or I have an irregular heartbeat. And it's brief anyway, so I don't know if this actually helps or the thing just, it happens quickly. But I've found these different ways to reset my vagus nerve. And there's just these ways, sighing and yawning and things. And there's other things you can do. And I find when that happens, it seems to go away. So there's some kind of reset that happens. Meditation on the heart is also something, the Sajmark system that I do, the meditation that we do actually helps with the heart. And very few people who do that system have physical heart issues, even if it's genetic or something. Like I don't know anybody who does Sajmark that's had a heart attack, but there's a lot of people I don't know, have died. I don't know who they are, right? But the meditation, the spiritual meditation on the heart and the cleaning is very beneficial to the system. And so when I meditate, it also, like I don't have any kind of a heart issue when I meditate, and it'll help with it, doing the Sajmark method of meditation. And so, now Gratefullness, which I have, a playlist and sittings that people can do and things on that. But I think it's more about something to do with the, it could be 5G related. Like we don't even know if it has anything to go with COVID. This could be just, or at least 5G has made it worse. And it's disrupting our electrical frequencies and our energies and our, nervous system and things. But I think people have to look at it out of the box and figure out, what's going on with them personally and why it's happening. Why the irregular heartbeat, why the rapid heartbeat, like I would hear pounding. Sometimes my heart would just pound. And I think that happened the first time of COVID. Like I lay down and I was having, sometimes trouble breathing, and then my heart would just pound, especially when I laid on my left side. I've been doing this sort of, acupressure and these other, energy things, Qigong or whatever it's called. I can't, begins with a Q, and these things where there's an energy system in there, right? Reflexology. These different points that you can press and things like this. And this seemed to have helped me navigate the issue, and just whatever. But it sucks. Like it sucks for a lot of reasons because it shouldn't be there. Like in my case, it shouldn't be an issue, but it is. So whatever's been done, whatever I've received from this, the COVID thing or 5G or a combination of those things and what other people are getting, and some people seem to be more sensitive to it or it has more of an effect. It's, something now that I think about. The two things with COVID, two things that were introduced, for me personally and everybody, is I had difficulty sleeping when I was sick, and that was always my go-to, was to sleep a lot and, just get rest. And I dreaded going to sleep at night because in the nights were the worst with the first version of COVID, and sleeping caused problems with the other two COVIDs. There was one I slept for like 24 hours almost. I just couldn't get out of bed. And so sleeping seems to have, a negative effect, or at least it's when, bad things would happen. And the other thing is exercise, which is, as soon as I was able, exercise always helped me get better. And moving around, getting outside things. And, getting my heart rate up was, I didn't even think about it that way, but now I get concerned about it, right? Because of, these issues. So, they've taken away two things that have always helped me personally in the past, sleeping and exercise. As, because all these young people have died while exercising. So it makes you concerned about getting your heart rate up. Anyways, I got a bunch of things to cover here. I just wanted to talk about that briefly. And, I want to get to the supplements and all the things I've been doing and learned about post-COVID, just, sort of an attitude towards health and a different, a different approach, but I guess is something that, I have to share that's positive. It's helped me and, might help other people. And I just got to get to that, like just buckle down and do it. Anyways, let's get into the other stuff here. Let's start off here. One of my viewers sent me this. This is Drake, and I don't know if he put this in.
In other news, the Tomb of Drake is set to be completed in downtown Toronto in late 2024.
The underground portion of the tomb is complete, and it's got everything Drake requested for the afterlife. So there's rooms filled with Patron, there's a room for 21 Savage, and there's also a fully functioning OVO store. To prevent grave robbers, we have had an old lady curse all the items. So if someone does steal something, for the rest of their life, they will be followed home by the Owl Man. Besides that, the only sealed
This looks like a spoof, but it's pretty funny. We're well done.
item in Drake's sarcophagus is a pirated copy of Stranger Things on DVD.
The internet reacts to the fake news story about the Tomb of Drake. The Tomb of Drake for the afterlife. Real or fake? Drake gets roasted as fans fall for Toronto tomb hoax. Drake tomb hoax gets fans pressed over as fake, whatever it is. So that, kind of funny.
Mom! I need a new TV! Don't you dare! What? Where's the bed? Where? Vincent? Where's the bed? Vincent, listen to me. Don't break the TV. No. Are you gonna buy me a new one? No. Are you gonna buy me a new one? No. You're not gonna buy me a new one? See what happens? Oh dear, oh dear. No. Buy me a new one? No, you can't. Oh. Vincent! I can't believe you did that. You gonna buy me a new one? No! Stop! Oh my gosh, your father. It's gonna flip out, okay? You buy me a new one? No. No, okay, no. Stop! Stop! You gonna buy me a new one? No, okay, no, it's done. Just stop. You gonna buy me a new one? Stop! Should I break it even more? No! Is that smell? Dude!
This is staged because somebody's filming. It's not the mom or the kid. So I don't know who's filming, and, it's staged. But the kid's living in the basement. And they've relegated the kid to the basement for whatever reason. It's just a lot of things wrong with that. Look at this giant herd of elk. There's a big herd of elk here. Just came into this neighborhood just camping out on people's lawns.
You adopted 'cause you really
She nailed the landing. She does the thing, got it ready, boom, what a landing. And the car didn't hold up. Madonna apologizes to Toronto for saying, "Are you ready, Boston?" So she doesn't even know what city she's in. And I guess she's still doing this Madam Xpiration Day death tour.
This is the moment after an explosion on board a JetBlue flight to Fort Lauderdale from New York's JFK on Monday.
Oh my God, where's my phone?
Flight attendants pouring bottled water on a bag to contain the flames,
And your cell phone!
while people try to exit the plane during a chaotic evacuation.
Okay, we'll get it out. My first reaction was like, wow, like this is an attack. Like I thought someone attacked me. I had no clue what to think.
The exploded backpack belonged to 25-year-old Jimmy Levy from Aventura.
We fell asleep and I laid my head against the window, and like 2 minutes later a giant explosion came and the ball of fire, which was my backpack, came right towards my face. I was shocked. When I pushed down the backpack, it kind of landed on my lap, so it started burning my thigh right away. And then I pushed it down to the ground, started stomping on it.
Levy says officials told him it was his portable phone charger battery that exploded inside the backpack.
My message is like, be careful. I guess what you have, any type of battery or charger can just go off at any time.
We're all a bunch of walking time bombs, bro. Chicago area Tesla charging stations lined with dead cars and freezing cold. A bunch of dead robots out here. Desperate Tesla owners in and around Chicago were seen trying to charge their vehicles with no luck amid frigid temperatures that have gripped the Midwest. Charging stations have essentially turned into car graveyards in recent days as temperatures have dropped to the negative double digits, Fox Chicago reported. Nothing, no juice, still on zero. Tyler Beard, who have been trying to recharge the Tesla at Oak Brook, Illinois' Tesla superstation since Sunday afternoon, told the news outlets. And this is like 3 hours being out here after being out here 3 hours yesterday. And so I guess these cars don't do very well in sub-freezing temperatures. I was telling my wife about this. Years and years ago, in a shared house that I ended up living in, which kind of, was important various ways. It helped, living there ended up having repercussions later on. And as my life developed, this is when I first started doing the meditation that I do. There was a woman who was taking the room that I ended up eventually renting. And it was so cold in Massachusetts, I had an old Audi car. And the shocks on the car were gas shocks, and they compressed, so their shocks weren't even working. And she had some kind of an old Mercedes-Benz that was diesel that you had to plug in. So this was like one of those diesel like fancy cars, but she was older probably. It was like a 20-year-old car like she probably got from her parents. And it wouldn't work. Like she was trying to charge it, and she ended up not taking the room and leaving, and then I ended up moving in there. But, electricity, these cars don't perform well in these really cold temperatures, and, it's getting really cold in the winter at different times. So this happened.
Hello, you alright? Alright? Where's your hand, mate? Where's your other hand, mate? Where's your other hand? Where's your hand? There you go. Alright, you just step down with my colleague.
So this guy's coming home from France to Britain, and some dude's in his car carrier. You can bet the house this guy was given a 4-star hotel and free food for 6 months following this video at taxpayers' expense. To be honest, he probably didn't even get sent home. Britain is soft. I don't know anything about that, but that's probably somebody who does. Who knows? Disgraced ex-Honduras president begs for donations to bankroll his legal fight against U.S. government's claims he built a brutally violent empire using millions in bribes from drug lord El Chapo's cocaine cartel. So, there's things going on out there. This guy right here looks perfectly, this is kind of interesting here. Okay, so they played some music here that got copyrighted, so I'm redoing this. But these are basically the eggs of these creatures, and you see how small they are, and they blossom into these, big creatures later on. They evolve into something much bigger. One of the things that Master Chargy, the meditation that I do, used to talk about how that you open up a seed, like a seed to a giant redwood or some large oak or tree, and it's like there's sometimes air inside of it. Like you have these tiny seeds, but inside the seed exists this giant tree, which is a metaphor for your own personal spiritual evolution, that, from small things you can evolve into something much greater. YouTube recommended this to me. This is one Seth J. Green.
Bill Murray was hosting the show.
Seth Green doesn't look great. He's, aged exactly like you think he was. He looks like a little gremlin. Little Hollywood, am I right?
Hunter, what's your favorite type of crack? Are you on crack today? Do you like shooting cocaine or smoking crack more?
This is this guy. I saw something. Somebody sent me another piece where he was asking Hunter about his crack preferences. Hunter could refer him to his book he wrote a whole novel about it.
Working a basic 9 to 5 is causing Gen Z to have a mental breakdown.
Work until we have to die just for the privilege of being alive? Huh? Like we never.
I don't understand this concept.
Never asked to be born, but now
she never asked to be born. Like she doesn't, she would be born. Like, I mean, you wouldn't be able to have these cool piercings if you didn't get born, right? But she never asked to be born. Like I didn't ask to be born, and technically you really did on a soul level. You create your body. I didn't ask to be born. You never asked to be born. Therefore, you're responsible for me for the rest of my life because it's your fault. Because you guys chose to born me.
We're obligated to do labor until we die. Huh? We have to work somewhere just to afford a house that we're never at because we're working to afford the house. Huh? Is the meaning of life to work and pay taxes and then die? On top of that, we
Oh, you didn't do a there.
also have to work to afford our vehicle to get to work in other places and afford gas just to get to work. And we also have to pay taxes for our roads to drive on to get to work. Pretty much just work and die. Let's not forget about life insurance just
let's not forget about it.
in case we almost die. And then we have to work for our children to go to school to learn how to work so our children know how to work for their
Just absolutely pointless. I get it. Life is meaningless, has no meaning for you. And this generation just doesn't make sense, right?
children so that their children can go to school and go to work. Like, somebody tell me that this is fair. I'm stressed.
Okay. It's okay, Pumpkin. Canadian MSN journalist who heavily promoted the COVID bloop has died after being declared neurologically dead. So that happened. Alec Musser, All My Children actor and fitness model, dead at 50. Probably, well, let me look. It's been a couple of days. Let's see if they have a cause of death here. According to Fox News, COVID ultimately killed, here it is. According to Fox News, Paige believes that COVID was ultimately what killed Alec, and she was added that he was both boop and boop. He was a very healthy person. I mean, he took exceptional care of his body, and it went into, I guess let's look at the thing here. He had a severe case of COVID, and he believed that he died from the illness, even though he was both booped and boopsed. So he died at home in Del Mar, California. So there's that. So this is kind of interesting. They had the caucuses last night. Some of the highlights were Nikki Haley, who came in third, said now it's a two-person race, right? You know, that means you're out of it, Nikki. But there was this exchange on MSNBC. It's kind of funny.
The other thing I'm curious about, Steve, if you don't mind, is that other question about the possibility of conviction, which we talked about, the meteor that may land at any moment, which, you know, people who are there know.
It'd be that, Steve. Come on, Steve. Yeah, that meteor, Steve.
Know that that's possible. Take us through that one.
Yeah, no, I mean, so ask the question here. If Donald Trump is convicted, do you consider him fit to be president? Again, this is our entrance poll of Republican caucus goers. So yes, similar, very similar spread here. Yes is 63%. And I can
Come on, Steve. Get the facts, Steve.
Just show you the breakdown on this is those who say he's fit to serve, 71%, then it will say they're going to vote for him tonight. And it's 13% for DeSantis. It is 6% for Haley. Among those who say no, Trump would not be fit to serve, the number is Haley. Remember, Haley seems to be gobbling up the lion's share of the anti-Trump votes. You see,
she's gobbling him up because she's the only one who will criticize Trump after Christie left.
50% for Haley with this group. DeSantis is getting 30%. Trump is getting 9%. And actually, Trump is barely edging out Ramaswamy, who's getting 8% with this group. But yeah, this is about a 1/3, 2/3 divide about the legitimacy of the 2020 election, about Trump's legal situation. And you could just see how that is the divide you're seeing there in the party.
Wow, it's a big divide. You guys are just getting to it here.
Again, though, big picture is the big picture here. This means that of people turning out to caucus in Iowa, a third of them think that if Donald Trump is convicted, he is not fit to be president.
There's Jen Psaki on the end, but Rachel Maddow and these guys, there's the Hammer guy. This is their crew, right? Jen Psaki, the Hammer guy, this woman named Joy who is joyless, the Skippy guy here, the Skippy. This guy's we've seen him before, and Rachel Maddow at the center here.
President in this incredibly conservative electorate where Trump is going to run away with the Iowa caucuses by a mile and then some. Still, a third of that electorate says if he's convicted, they're going to nominate him nationwide? Yeah. When even a third of Iowa caucus goers?
Well, it's crazy. I don't understand it. It's crazy.
Say no, he can't be president if he's convicted. I'm sorry, but he's got to be convicted.
He's got to be convicted.
Rachel,
She's confused. Rachel Maddow, we'll see if he's convicted because again, what will you guys do if he is? You'll have no purpose in life. If Trump goes down, then your whole thing is done, right? Like you have no purpose. Anyways, kind of funny. Hunter Biden's art dealer says he wouldn't renew contract with First Son after $1.5 million sales. So Hunter Biden, who never had any inclination towards art, became an artiste, and he immediately sold $1.5 million in paintings. And he's still broke and can't afford all the things he can do. Manhattan art dealer George Brigas told Congress that he had opted not to renew his contract with Hunter Biden after making $1.5 million in sales for the First Son's novice art to 10 buyers, leaving Hunter without a known vendor as House Republicans pursue an impeachment inquiry into the alleged Biden family corruption. And so if it's 10 people, that's an average of $150,000, right? Is that what that is? Yeah, $150,000. So people paid a novice artist like Hunter Biden $150,000. And we know that, selling art is a big way to launder money. And so it's just what happens. And, it clearly is the case here. There they are together. Because the guy knows he's laundering money, and now there's criminal charges, right? Weight loss influencer Myla De Jesus dies at 35, leaving 4 children and a newlywed husband. Brazilian influencer, a newlywed. She was 35. Let me just search here for cause of death. Suspected cardiac arrest. And so, everything I was talking about earlier. I mean, there's so many examples of cardiac arrest and from amongst young people, and people's hearts aren't doing very well. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, definitely point for the apocalypse and the ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.